अस्सलामुअलैकुम, खुश आमदीद कहती हूँ आपको आपके अपने चैनल में द फुलिश क्वैक। On evening as the sun was setting, some travelers stayed to rest under a clump of trees, and losing their camels set them to graze. It happened that one of the animals entered a million field, and that a million stuck in its throat. The owner, seeing this and fearing to lose the animal, tied a blanket around his throat and then struck the place with all his might. Instantly the million broke in the throat of the camel, and it was they easily swallowed. A stained man who had just come up, looking on and observing this proceeding, shouldered his bundle, and going to the next village, pretended that he was a doctor. But what can you cure? Asked the villagers. I can cure the goiter, answered the curate. An old woman whose throat was swollen to a frightful exclaimed, "Oh, my son, if you could only cure my goiter, I would bless you for evermore." Certainly, answered the man. "Here, bring me a blanket and a good-sized mallet." As soon as they were brought, he tied up the woman's throat and struck the swollen part with so much force that the poor old creature instantly expired. Ah! cried the people, "this fellow is a villain." So they seized him, being minded to carry him before the king. One of them, however, said, "She was a very old woman who must have died shortly in any case. Let us therefore compel the wretch to dig her grave, and then we can beat him and let him go." So they took him and set him to work, but the ground was so stiff and hard that he made show progress. "If you do not dig it," said they, "before the king you shall go, and then you will be hanged." Thus exhorted the unfortunate man in the greatest fear, labored away with all his might, and at last, when the villagers saw that he had finished his task and buried the victim of his mistaken treatment, they beat him well and let him go. Uninfluenced by the severity of his punishment, the man mounted off his camel and went on the next village, and again gave himself out as a great doctor. "And what can you cure?" said someone. "I can cure goiter," answered he. This time it was an old man who offered himself for treatment. But the pretended doctor said, "Look here, good pupil, I shall do my best to cure this cause. But remember, if I am so unfortunate as to kill him, I am not be compelled to dig the man's grave." "A pretty sort of doctor you must be," cried they, "before you begin your treatment. You are talking of digging the patient's grave. Away with you, we shall have nothing to do with you." Hearing this, the pranted doctor began to say to himself, "What an extraordinary thing this is! My best plan surely is to return to the camel man and tell them they have not shown me the right way to cure this disease. Perhaps They will advise me. When he had overtaken them, he cried, "But, foolish man, you must be. I met an old woman who suffered from goiter just like your camel, and I tied a blanket round her neck and struck her with a mallet, but instead of recovering like your camel, she died, and instead of getting a pill, I was compelled to dig her grave."